Hello, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I'm going to talk about what is the size of PhD classes and why are actually they're so small. Why are PhD classes so small? So if you don't know, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity platform that started out as a sharing economy proofreading platform. And I quickly realized I wasn't getting any sort of traffic to that. So now I'm actually doing all these content marketing efforts by sharing as much as I possibly can with this. And it's really geared towards PhDs because it was a problem that I personally had. And I knew that there's a lot more people that are out there experiencing this exact same problem of getting feedback on their work. It's a really difficult thing to sort of find. So I decided to create this platform, right? And I know that there's so many people out there that can use this. I just gotta find them. All right, so what is the size of PhD classes? Generally, most PhD classes are gonna be no bigger. So the biggest ones that I personally have seen have been about 15 to 20 people in a particular class, and most of them are actually around the size of 3 to 5 to even 8 students. And you might be thinking that this is an extremely small class. Yes, it is a small class, but you have to sort of weight what happens in terms of the material and the content that actually happens to go in there. So one way you can think about it is people have been whittled out all the way through to get to that particular stage, right? So in your high school, there's lots of people that have finished high school now. Then there's less people that have finished, about half of them finish an undergraduate degree, then even less finish a master's degree, and then even tiny little bit that actually do a PhD or think about doing a PhD. But that's one way to think about it, but I think it's more of a demands that are put on each individual person that's in those particular classes. They're very extremely intensive to do them, not only for the instructor, because there is a vast amount of reading that you have to do, and you have to sort of keep on up to date of the current research in the particular area. But then as well, there's all this grading, a substantial amount of grading that you have to do, and you have to be very critical with that particular material, right? So from the perspective, the professor's point of view, that's kind of a key thing to think about. But then as well, from the student's point of view, they have to do a large amount of reading, probably the most amount they've ever done in their entire life. And then during the class, what is normally done, it is a little bit different than what you think in terms of a normal lecture in a university or in a high school or something like that. It is normally taught in terms of a discussion where people actually get the time to think about and process each individual article that they read or each individual paper that they read and go into depth with those particular articles. You might go spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, half an hour on each individual article, and you think about the assumptions that they made in each one of those articles, and you're very critical about them. You think that they're, it's exciting and really cool, and you have all these kind of ideas that you've never thought about before, and it's truly that way. But then you have to be critical and understand what they're trying to do and dig deep into the particular area and come up with the assumptions that people have not talked about yet, and be very just sort of analytical with those kind of things. Because the reason why you're doing that is eventually you come up with your own ideas of somebody has done this and they looked at it this way, but then nobody has done this particular route. And that takes a lot of thought. It takes a lot of sort of discussion to actually think about these kind of things going forward. It takes a lot of what is called theorizing, where you're actually getting into understanding what is truly going on behind the mechanism. And that's what we're trying to do as scientists. My 9-year-old has a section right now on what is science and what do scientists do. And a big chunk of it is actually digging deep and trying to get at the particular mechanism and understanding what the particular mechanism of what is going on and getting at that mechanism a little bit more. It's really hard to understand what is truly going on behind the scenes. And I know that lots of people probably don't understand how difficult it is to understand something, but truly once you start digging deep into it, you start to realize that the world is a lot more complicated than you think it is, and you have to dig deep and understand what is going on and truly understand what these particular mechanisms are that is driving a particular relationship. And the only way that you can do that is if you're very critical and you dig into something. And it's very exhausting. A PhD class is very exhausting. Typically, most people are emotionally drained after they participate in one class. It's something to expect, and it's because you're digging deep and asking these very rich questions of what's going on. So you have to have small classes. The PhD classes have to be small because it is so intensive to go into these particular areas. So hopefully you like this question. Give me a thumbs up, or answer, give me a thumbs up if you do. And as well, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do appreciate it. Thank you once again from the bottom of my heart. All right, take care. Bye.